Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Countercast. It's your boy Grim, joined with the one and only Play.
What's
And
up? What's
today,
up?
that's what's up. Today's conversation is going to be about Saiyan transformation or just the entire Saiyan race. But before we get into it, hit it. All right. So, Saiyans. First off, let's just start off by saying, hey, yo, them niggas tight.
Whoa.
Yeah,
What you mean
them
by that?
niggas tight. Wait. What do you mean by what do I mean by that? Like,
I know.
listen, bro.
Look,
If
look.
you got isekai, you want to be a saint? No,
Yeah.
I
But
they tight. You know what I'm saying? Or why wouldn't you want a monkey tail when you're born? Right?
I feel like
Uh,
you're coming out with some strange energy. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let
I-
you cook. But
uh,
I don't know. Like, where you going with this? But
uh,
yeah, it's dope to be a Saiyan. You got all types of powers. You get really strong. You get Isekai, you get Zenkai boost. You get a monkey tail. You get a free transformation looking at the moon. But
yeah, and when you get all emotional, you get a crazy ass power up. So, you know, and we'll just go and segue into that crazy ass power up. So, my question for you is this: I'm going to divide it into three categories, and we're just going to use Goku as our model, basically. So, we got Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT. I'm gonna put them together,
well, super.
and Super. We got those two. So with uh Dragon Ball Z and GT, we have Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 4. That's the
Hmm.
first category. Then you have Super Saiyan God and Blue. That's our second category. And then finally, you have Ultra Instinct Sign and Ultra Instinct. Which is your preferred transformation?
Ultra Instinct and Ultra Instinct sign. No doubts about it. Hands down, I don't want to hear it. Boo all you want. Ultra Instinct is my favorite transformation from Goku. All right? It's the way it was introduced, the way it was just clean. It was the first and only transformation, actually,
Mm-hmm.
that, we as a community got to experience live because most of the Dragon Ball Z shit happened well before we were born. So being able to see Ultra Instinct live and the reaction, that shit is forever memorable, man. That shit was
Okay,
forever
okay.
memorable.
I would say I feel like I'm in the minority, but for me, it's got to be blue. I just
Blue ain't
blue.
bad. Blue ain't bad. I mean, I see why people call it a lazy recolor, but so it looks cool. I like the color blue. Like what?
Hey, it's just blue. Blue had some pretty awesome moments, but the reason why I'm bringing it's just because when we talk about Dragon Ball, the main thing, and especially with the Saiyan race, the main thing is how do transformations factor into these characters and also to what they represent in the story. Now, I would say if we're just talking about the pinnacle of Saiyans, I think Super Saiyan 4 is the best transformation.
Oh yeah, it literally. How do I say this? Like Super Saiyan 4 felt like, is it magnum opus? Is that the perfect word for that? I think I might.
Maybe.
Basically, it combined everything about Goku and Vegeta, the same race as a whole, and to put it into one perfect transformation. It took Super Saiyan, it took Great Ape, and it said, you know what? Mash that shit together, and it worked. It worked. It has this primal feel. Makes you feel like you're going back to your roots.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like people shit on GT way more than it really deserves because the GT had a lot of good things going for it. Super Saiyan 4, Shadow Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's about it. But
it,
but
it
those
it
two
has
things
weight.
alone.
It has
Yeah,
weight to it. There you go.
yeah. Think about it. GT came out like how many years ago? I don't even know.
Maybe almost 2
30,
decades.
yeah, 30, 40 years ago at this rate.
Damn.
40 is a little, but it's probably more closer to 30. But 30 years ago, and people still love Super Saiyan 4, right? Because, like, look, this is awful argument, but the new Dragon Ball game called Sparking Blast,
Hmm.
right? We've seen pretty much every other form being confirmed except Super Saiyan 4, and we
That
still,
is true.
everyone is clamoring, like, yo, where's Super Saiyan 4? Where's Super Saiyan 4? You know they're going to put it in the game. Probably going to
Oh
be
yeah.
DLC. If they're smart, they would make DLC, because shit, they know people going to pay for it.
Hell yeah. It's fucking Super Saiyan 4. It just like as you said, when I look at that transformation, it's just it really is the pinnacle of a Saiyan race. And like my thought is, in my opinion, if a Saiyan is able to reach Super Saiyan 4, that becomes their only transformation. What do you think of that?
I mean, I don't know about that, but I see what
I
you
I
mean.
feel I feel like if Super Saiyan 4 is being represented as the pinnacle of the Saiyan race, once you reach that point, I don't feel like you need Super Saiyan or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
You
of
know?
course you don't. Like what? I think okay. We're on the same page here. I'm just saying, of course they're not going to use any other transformation, right?
Hmm.
A real ass nigga is going to use the strongest form available to them. And once you unlock Super Saiyan 4, that was the strongest form available to them, right?
Hmm.
Goku, I'm not gonna lie, he kind of is a fool for trying to ramp up to his strongest form. He really should just go all out from the jump if he really wants to have fun, but that's just not who he is. He'll always want to measure the strength of the opponent. So he's gonna start with Super Saiyan. He's gonna jump to 2. He's gonna go to 3, and then he's gonna go to blue. Hey, bars.
But
But sometimes he'll even throw in God in there, like the Broly movie. He went from one. He didn't do 3 though, but he went to red, which is God.
my thing is this. My thing is this. I do agree that Goku is just that type of character where he wants to ramp up. But then my question is, why not do it in your base form?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, it let's say you are that type of fighter where before you want to go to your strongest form, you want to um ramp up. It I'll even use Ultra Instinct. This is part of the reason why I like Ultra Instinct Sign and the full state of Ultra Instinct, but I don't put it as my favorite, is because number one, if written correctly, it matches Goku's tendency in a fight perfectly. You basically have base. So if he's fighting someone strong and he wants to test himself, you go from his base form. And if he wants to increase the level gradually, you could use sign for that. And then if he's going all out, just go full ultra instinct, get the silver hair, beat shit up, get your Susanoo, whatever the fuck you need, and
Hey,
handle
whoa,
business.
whoa, 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 whoa.
That's still crazy though.
It really is
That's
crazy.
still
Like
crazy. Nigga has a full on suit. Forget
I
about
don't,
that.
I don't
But
understand. I
that's what I think. It's just when you have all these transformations, even if you're the type of person who gradually wants to get there, the question you had to ask yourself is just like, so then what's the point of base?
well, so they don't just go around destroying shit. Like,
But then, but that isn't that the weird thing though, right? Because if you compare it, let's say, do you think base Goku in the Android saga would be beating Frieza in the Frieza arc.
No,
Now that's interesting.
no. Honestly, it's like scaling the base forms. Yes, base Super Goku is washing Final Form Go Frieza. Right, we seen that in the Resurrection of F Saga or arc. Right, he was base
Mhm,
form and he was fighting Final Form Frieza to it. It was pretty equal. However, like I don't think in man, we're getting the power scaling, which I don't like. That shit is just. I'm gonna say this out here, bro. Power scaling, it's fun as like an escape, but when you take that shit too seriously, you gotta realize, bro, this is just a story. If whoever wins, whoever also wants to win. But base Goku in the End story, I don't think he gained enough strength in his base form to just be able to contend with Final Form Frieza like that. Because if he did, right, like if you just look
mhm,
at the pure numbers aspect, bro, Super Saiyan is supposed to 50 times your strength.
mhm,
Okay, 50 times. That means his base form would have to be what? Okay, Frieza's power level like 120 million. That's what we know. Then blah blah blah. Super Saiyan
mhm,
Goku was 150 million because his base power is 3 million. So for him to have, he'd have to jump to like 130 million in his base form. And then imagine that, right? And then he goes Super Saiyan, and Super Saiyan Goku was struggling against the androids. Okay,
mhm.
how strong are the androids? If that's the case, that's why
No,
I'm like, nah, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way, there's no
and
way.
and I agree with you with that. Where when you really get into the power scaling aspects, it could get damn near super confusing, right?
Mhm.
But it is still a good point to mention, just because it still has a narrative purpose, especially when you're making a show that the main appeal about it is fighting, and how
Mhm.
fights play out is what will add tension, emotions, and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
let me, it's like this. You remember Boo arc, the final part. Goku goes, he does the spear bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the super huge ass spear bomb, and then he was like, "Ah, I don't have enough energy." Da 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 da. Da," right?
Mhm.
All he does is go Super Saiyan, and he was like, "See ya."
Whoa, whoa. I mean, yes, but there's a little more nuance there. You know, you got to mention how the Supreme Kai and all them use their wishes to restore Goku's energy, and then Goku went Super Saiyan because he needed more strength to push it back against Boo because
Hmm.
Boo was
So
that
then,
nigga for real.
so then, here's the question though.
Mhm.
We saw them struggle all the time, and of course, this is the author's decision and stuff like that. But why Super Saiyan and not Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3?
Eh,
If Boo is that
probably
nigga,
just for the aesthetics. Because
whi-
like,
which is fine, right? But again, you do have multiple transformations, and this is Boo we're talking about.
okay, okay. Now my thought process is
Hmm.
these did explain before that Super Saiyan 3 drains far too much energy for him to just constantly use it like that, which is
Yeah,
explained, which is fair. However, that excuse doesn't really work for Super Saiyan 2 because they showed that the way they treat Super Saiyan 2 is like a
the better
perfected
Super Saiyan.
version of Super Saiyan 1. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, when Gohan first did it, it was like, whoa, he's ascended. He went beyond. No one thought this was a level that could be reached. And they treated like, okay, this is your Super Saiyan mastered, right? It's basically what Master Ultra is to UI sign.
Hmm.
So Goku not using that and jumping to that in fights is kind of wild because there's no drawbacks that we know of. No, if you want
Hmm.
to say maybe expends more energy, but at this point, I don't think it matters because like your stamina has to be to the point where you can stay Super Saiyan 2 for your whole life if you wanted, right? Because remember, this is something that they really abandoned quickly in the Cell Saga when Gohan and Goku trained to be able to use Super Saiyan as their new base form,
Hmm.
right? They seem to have forgotten that. that shit was that shit was usual. You basically made it a passive form, and then you saw the problems I told you about. They were breaking plates, cups, smashing windows because of how they're strong their bodies are. That's why they have to walk around their base. But
Mhm.
there's really no excuse, right? Like even when you think about it, if he okay, Super Saiyan 3, I understand. He probably would have lost all the energy right there. Super Saiyan
Yeah.
2 though, that shit would have been nice. Granted, he didn't need it for the job, which is probably the end all be all argument for that shit. Like he didn't need it. He didn't
Mhm.
need it. Super Saiyan was more than enough to stop Boo. Now, if you go to the second moment that's similar to that, when he used it against Jiren, he went all out, bro. that shit did not matter.
Well,
Didn't he use
did
Kyle Ken times 20?
he went? It was like the spear bomb, and he went blue, and then Kaioken, right?
Yeah. And Jiren pushed that shit back.
He really did. That nigga, Jared is just built different like that.
Yeah, he really is, bro. So,
But
but
the reason why, I mean, I bring this up is just that in that story perspective, it just it gets weird because now you're just guessing. It's not a very simple thing, right? Super Saiyan 3, one of the coolest looking forms, useless.
yeah,
You know what I'm
it
saying? Like
is
let's
absolutely
say
useless.
let's say if we do know
That's
GT is canon because that's what they said. Like Super is before GT, so like GT is, I guess
whoa, GT not canon. It's just like honestly, the way Super is set up, GT makes no sense anymore because
that is
the
true.
power scaling just. So we just gotta,
Just ignore it.
yeah.
But let's say you do have Goku has Super Saiyan 2, 3, and then he has 4.
Mm-hmm.
What person brings will bring him out to 4?
The Shadow Dragon.
Without the not the, forget about the Shadow Dragon. Just um like if you put that Goku in Super Realm, who brings out Super Saiyan 4 and how do you think it'll fare?
Super Saiyan 4. I'm sorry, bro. Like I know, hey, I love it too, but that shit's getting
It's just
washed.
weak.
that shit's getting washed,
Oh my
bro.
god,
like
bro.
maybe you can argue.
Wow.
Like okay, all right, right. Let's say
Wash is crazy.
for argument's sake, let's say it scales as well as like Blue or God. Okay, but like even the reason I say it gets washed because if you look at the multipliers, Super Saiyan 1 is 50 times base. Super Saiyan 2 is 2 times Super Saiyan, so 100 times base. Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times 2, so 400 times base. And Super Saiyan 3, no, Super Saiyan 4 is 10 times 3, so wait, how much is that? So
It's
4,000 times base. Which is a lot, right? However,
mhm.
Beerus absolutely embarrassed Super Saiyan 3 to the point where I don't even believe 10 times that is enough to contend with Beerus. Like, we saw what he did to Super Saiyan 3. He literally made Goku.
He
Didn't
flicked
he
that.
flick?
He flicked that nigga.
Yes, bro. He flicked him in the head. It was nothing. So I was like, damn, damn, But if we give him the benefit of the doubt, I'm saying maybe he
But then
could.
even no, but isn't it? Sorry to cut you off, but go ahead and finish, and then I'll go back to my point.
Like, even in the benefit of the doubt, maybe, he'd be able to, like, throw hands with Beerus, but he's not beating Beerus, right? He'd have to, like, severely, call it, train up his base form for Super Saiyan 4 to really be that strong. Or
Hmm.
maybe you can even go to Dragon Ball Heroes route, Limit Broken Super Saiyan 4, which is supposedly on level of the gods.
Hmm.
So, Limit Broken Super Saiyan 4 could probably do some shit, but who could push him to Limit Broken Super Saiyan 4? I don't know, Hit.
Potentially, my thing is this. with that movie, right? Battle of Gods, where we
Hmm.
saw that Super Saiyan 3 was like basically useless. Once Goku went Super Saiyan God and he literally got out of it, Super Saiyan was at least keeping up with Beerus.
Oh, yeah, I actually forgot about that. Yeah, when he absorbed the god energy into his base form. See, 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 if they kept it like that, and that's basically how it was, because even now, the multipliers for blue is so vague. I don't know what makes blue so much stronger than like Super Saiyan 1 or 2, but it's the strongest form, undoubtedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know why. It's just very vague. Like, oh, this is God key. This is basically if you were Super Saiyan God and went Super Saiyan. That name is still dumb, by the way. However, him being able to, like you said, after he awakened godhood and just went Super Saiyan in his normal form, he was able to contend with Beerus. Like, actually do damage with normal punches. Hey, hey, if you mix that in with Super Saiyan 4, shit, that shit probably could get you, I don't know, to the least the Goku Black Arc, right? At least. Oh.
Oh,
And
we'll
then
take
what? And then you got no, see, then you got Super Saiyan 4 God. Vegito? Come on, bruh. Come on.
Well, I mean, we'll take it.
Yeah,
If that's
yeah.
the possibility, we'll take it. But I mean, it just
But at
goes
that
like
point,
that.
at that point, is it the same form? Because you're just using God Key now, which again, God Key is also very vague. Because
Yeah, I mean, it is true. It it's
hold on, hold
weird,
on.
but then again, now Broly, now
I was,
that
about, I was just about to say that. I was about to
now
say
that
that, but
Broly exists in Super, he just throws everything out of whack.
yeah, he really does, right? Because God Key was explained to you like the end all be all. Like, yeah, you got God Key, you can hang with them niggas. You can't hang with us unless you have God Key. Broly don't got God Key. Broly was beating two Super Saiyan Blues at the same time. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, no, he was whooping their ass,
Yeah.
right? It took them fusing, which is so crazy, by the way, that they had to fuse to beat another normal ass Saiyan, and they don't even like explore. Like, oh, Goku's like, oh, one day I'll get you. No, you're not. You're not that guy, Goku. If Broly needed you to fuse and go blue to beat his ass, you're not that guy. I'm
You're
sorry,
not
you'll
that
never
guy.
be that guy.
And then even after that, right? If we still could say that God Key is supposed to be the end all be all, what is the point of Beast Gohan? Because
Oh,
Beast Gohan does not have any God Key, does he?
no. But he
Is
didn't
is it
fight, but
Beast?
like,
Isn't Beast Gohan just Gohan's innate power?
it's his. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know, man. Honestly, I probably should. Did you read the manga? I think maybe the. Whoa,
I
my
mean,
fault.
I didn't like read it with that arc, but
Because
I mean,
Beast Gohan and Goku fought before the
yeah,
big hiatus.
yeah. I saw the chapter where they fought,
Hmm.
but still though, like he doesn't have any God Key in Beast form.
Which,
Yet he's competing. He's
well,
there.
yeah, he's hanging with them.
He's
He's hanging
hanging
with the
with
boys.
he's hanging with the boys, and he's not even. He doesn't have godhood.
That shit don't matter though. Remember, we thought God Key was a thing, and then we saw Goku versus Hit. No, Hit was able to hang with Goku. Pretty sure Jared has God Key though, right? Does Jared have God Key?
I don't think so. He's just that nigga, isn't he?
No, stop it, Jared. Man, don't ever get an extra answer. I mean, based on it, uh, yeah, no, he don't have God Key. Which my logic is kind of dumb, right? You don't play Dokkan Battle as much, but in Dokkan Battle, there is a category called Realm of Gods, and that pretty much is a category saved for everyone with God Key. Jiren's on that category, right? But in the show, they never said he had God Key, so I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's
it's a
just it's the weirdest thing
concept.
when you look at the categories, right? Of course, we're comparing in terms of power scaling. It's like no question. The power scalings are just different. But if you're just going off the idea of just transformations and what marks a good transformation narratively, and you could even put aesthetically, there's a good argument. It's also why I find it weird, because you read the manga as well.
Hmm.
I find it weird how they did so much effort to change what Ultra Instinct was originally at. Where when Goku first went Ultra Instinct, he was stoic.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then, they changed it. It's like, oh no, that's not who I really am. I have emotion. And I'm like,
I fight with my
nigga,
emotions. Type
if you
shit.
don't shut your ass up, what was Super Saiyan 4 then? Because if I recall clearly, Super Saiyan 4 Goku was on and stayed on Demon Time.
Hmm.
That nigga was stoic, did demon shit, was goofy. Like, it,
Honestly, it's the same thing with well, the way they imply Super Saiyan as a whole is like that, where when you transform, it lets more negative emotions into your heart, which is why Goku can't use Spirit Bomb while in Super Saiyan state.
mhm,
So, their transformations are eating at their emotions, making them more uh not savage, more aggressive, right? Because if you go all the way back to the Frieza saga, remember when Goku first transformed? He yelled at Gohan.
he
He
was like,
never did that before that, right? He treated Gohan like, no, that's his son. That's his boy. He would never yell at him like that. He was
he's
Super Saiyan.
like,
He was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like,
yeah,
oh
boy.
shit.
He's like, get in line, boy. Get in
Yeah,
line.
man. So, you get more rage filling your heart. As Gohan when he went Super Saiyan 2, that, you want to talk about demon time? That nigga was on
Bro,
demon time to the point where he kind of hold himself because he was playing with his food.
bro, there was a one skit, bro, where it basically described Super Saiyan 2 Gohan perfectly. Is like, Gohan, you a suburban nigga. You never on the streets, bro. I
He
was
was
like,
not like that. Yes, I am.
you suburban. It's like, no, Super Saiyan 2 changed them too. Even fucking, what's even weird,
Mhm.
Potential Unleashed, even though that's not a Super Saiyan transformation, that nigga was on demon time. If you pull up to the scene and say, I didn't come here to fight you, I came here to kill you, you're a
Yeah,
demon.
yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah. You are. I
you're
know,
on
no
demon
doubt about
time.
it. I mean, whether or not he was successful, that's a whole other thing. But yeah,
That's the
yeah.
thing, but uh,
And then even Beast, bro. I just recently rewatched that scene, bro. With the way he smirks before he goes on against fucking Cell Max.
no, not even that, bro. You remember when Cell Max did that fucking like full throttle punch? He looked down and just, bro,
Get that weak shit out of here.
that's
that
demon
nigga.
time.
Yeah, yeah, bro.
You just don't you just don't do that to a competent enemy, bro. That I would be like, yo, my
Mm-mm.
fault, my nigga. Let's rethink this. I wasn't expecting you to do some shit like that. I'm be on my way.
No, facts.
Cause that shit is demoralizing. How you going, my fist is bigger than your whole body and I punch you and you just
I
push it
just
away.
I just did your boy like that, and you doing me like this? That
So
shit is crazy. But yeah, see, the transformations do affect their mental state and their emotions as well, right? So yeah, I agree with you about the whole UI being changed in the manga. It's a little weird, but at the same time, I understand it, but it kind of goes against everything about the form, right? The form was initially explained as, oh, you're throwing away everything. You're just letting your body focus on moving and dodging and attacking. Just instead of having your brain affect anything, because even the synapses firing, that takes time. By removing that process, there's literally no time between any attack, any dodge, anything. So having
Hmm.
Goku like, nah, man, I put my emotions back into it. Like, then
And
what the fuck was the point? Like,
yeah.
now this is just a glorified Super Saiyan form. At this point, it's not, but it feels like it is. It's
E-
just Super Saiyan White now,
exactly. So I'm just like, I mean,
or black.
you don't have to really change it, but they still changed it, and I'm like, well, what when you're making characters fight each other, even if at the end all be all, someone's got to win, the details matter.
Hmm.
Does it matter that you know how they train? These guys are training.
Hmm.
What is the point of training if base doesn't matter?
What do you mean?
Like what is the point of if your transformation is at the end of the day just a multiplier? It's not a
Exactly.
state,
Then
it's not a state of being, it's not anything else, it's just you are, except for ultra instinct, because ultra instinct is more of a state of being type of transformation. Yeah.
hmm
Okay. Instead of ultra instinct, if all your other transformations is just multiplier, it's just a transformation that gives you more strength, power, speed, key, all that extra shit, right?
Well, I mean, you kind of just explained it yourself there. Because if it's a multiplier, you want to multiply upon your base,
Yeah, but I'm
right?
saying like if you're training, if they're always training, right? And if you
Hmm.
have that uh transformation where it's just like you have multiple transformation, is there
Feel
really
like
any point to um increase your base or make your base better if at the end of the day your base doesn't do anything?
I just explained, yes, there is. You want your base to be there. Sorry, losing the plot. Yes, you want your base to be stronger because it's just all multiplying off your base. Like, look, to go back to the Goku versus Frieza thing. Goku's base is 3 million. Super Saiyan brought him up to 150 million. If
Hmm.
his base was from, say, it jumped from 3 million to 5 million, suddenly he's at 250 million Super Saiyan power. Like that's a significant boost, right? Nigga jumped up 100 million just for
Hmm.
getting his base up.
Yeah.
So I think that's really just all it comes down to. By having their base stronger, these multipliers will multiplicative multiplicative.
Yeah.
They'll just boost even more.
But my thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more so speaking about details.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you're trying to make a fight, just forget about what the end result is going to be. At the end of the day, in these types of series, the most important thing is making the fight interesting. So details matter more than uh power scaling and all these other things. The details matters for the sequences.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just going to use multiple transformations, what's the point of base, right? And what I mean is, if we're going literal, what is the point of the transformation saying that is multiplying your base? If at the end of the day you have no interest in fighting in your base.
Hey man, I think you're trying to look at the details a little too hard.
Damn.
Look. These animes operate on one rule: the rule of cool. If it looks cool, they'll do that shit. All right. And
Okay.
going from base to Super Saiyan, that shit looks cool.
Yeah.
Watching Goku walk up on his enemy, and then you see his hair flare up from black to yellow. Hey man, that shit will always hit. Right? I
Okay.
know
So
that
okay,
shit.
let me let's use let's use an example then.
Like even Broly in the Broly movie, bro. Come on, bro. Be for real. Be for real. You gonna tell me
What
seeing Goku transform was it cool as fuck?
No, absolutely, yeah. 100% cool and shit. I'm not gonna lie about that. But what is like a good example? Mm, okay. What about I mean, I could use Broly, but even Broly is not that skilled enough. What about characters in different shows that they have capped, like they purposefully cap their reserves, and then when it's time to go serious, they go serious. What do you
An
think of that?
example.
Ugh. Okay, I don't, it's not a good example, but Gojo. It would Gojo be a good example?
No, because he doesn't have a transformation. I mean, just
But the six eyes, he
it's
has the
not.
blindfold. He could fight with the blindfold.
Honestly, I
Uh,
think the blindfold is just an aesthetic thing. Like, I don't. Does it really inhibit his ability? Does he
Well,
wear that shit for any
it,
real reason other than it looks cool?
yes, he does.
Gojo is a vanity character, right? I would have put it past him to do that shit. Because there's other moments where he puts on shades instead of the blindfold,
Well,
and
yeah,
then
that
and then you see moments where he's just walking around Shibuya, not Shibuya. That's not where. But walking around Japan, just chilling with his six eyes out, like he just be doing it. Like, remember that moment when when they all wanted to troll Megumi because he had a pair of date? That nigga was just walking with his eyes out.
okay. What about then? Bro, what is a good example? Uh,
Let's see. Let me see. Let me actually look at it. Why does he cover his eyes?
what is like a good example? Okay, wait. I have a question. Is the levels in potential unleashed just a fighter thing, or is it actually canon?
I don't think there's levels to it. Pretty sure the only nigga we've seen use it is Gohan,
No, but I'm
and we had
saying, do you think like potential unleashed actually has levels, or is it just a fighter's thing?
it's a fighters thing, man. Which is crazy because you would think with a form like Potential Unleashed, everyone should just go ahead and get that shit, right? Because it's funny now that we think about it. We were talking about how Super Saiyan in their base form, Gohan kind of throws that all out the window when you look at it because Potential Unleashed or Ultimate Gohan. I mean, it's basically just his base form, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way it was explained is that it's just pulling all of his power out at once instead of having him transform to achieve his power. Which, hey, that sounds mighty useful to me. Why don't everyone just do
But
that shit?
but still, it's so weird because Super Saiyan is still weaker than that.
Yeah, I know, right? That shit
So,
looks. And then they threw that out the window when this nigga got beast.
I, it is so weird. It really is so weird because narratively there should be a point to it, right? Not even if you're just to make fights easier to follow through. I think one of the most confusing things in shonen fights is when you have to, after a fight is done, the first question that pops up in your mind is, why didn't he use this form? And then the person is going to say, oh well, because this is the weakness of it. And then my rebuttal to it, so then what's the point of him training?
Mm.
Like Super Saiyan 3, expends too much energy.
Yeah.
So then what's the point of Goku training? Like what if is Goku just not gonna address that issue? Is like, you know what, I got other uh forms, so we'll just forget about that. Like you're not gonna address the issue. And we've seen they made transformations a little bit more usable and literally eliminate their weaknesses and even
Ah,
surpass them. Like you have Super Saiyan Blue evolved, you have Kaioken mixed in with Super Saiyan and shit like that. So we've seen they can get rid of the weaknesses of a transformation.
oh, Evolve never had a weakness. And Kyle
No, no,
Ken,
no, no, Blue. I'm talking about Blue. The form is like we saw that Blue had certain weaknesses, and over the period of time, they fixed it.
what was Blue's weakness? I think it was.
Uh,
I'm pretty in
I'm
the manga. They said some shit like it was just draining ki out there, like it was just losing ki from the fact that the aura is constantly spitting it out or some shit like that. That's why in the
mhm.
manga, their mastered blue form, which is supposed to replace Kaioken, is just pulling all the energy into their body. So now there's just no aura. It's just blue hair and they're fighting. So, but on that same subject, we were talking about Kaioken. I don't think they ever got rid of the weaknesses. I think they just started ignoring it, right?
Mhm.
This the narrative. I mean, because like when we first used that shit, it gave him key sickness, and he couldn't. Goku could have used his key effectively. He was teleporting all over the place. It was like what? Well, and the next you use it, he's like, all right, whatever.
Which
I don't feel any bad drawbacks. Which when you get to the tournament of power, Goku is literally on his last legs ever since he went Ultra Instinct the first time, right? He's like, oh, I'm exhausted. I have no stamina. I'm low, but I can still use Kaioken. You know, hey, don't get it twisted. I'm still that guy.
I'm still
Like,
that nigga, bro.
I can use
Like,
Kaioken. I know it should be draining my energy immediately because of
but
Blue.
nah,
And
but I can still
even the
do
same
it.
shit,
Yeah.
bro. When he fought Kefla or when he fought Kala Khalifa, and he used Super Saiyan 3, was form known for draining stamina. You're just like, nigga, that should have took you out right there. What's going on?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like
Hey man, I
you
told
gotta
you.
keep it you gotta keep it consistent. I know you want to make shit look cool, but at the same time, you gotta make it consistent too.
Sacrifices has to be made, man.
For
Sacrifices
that,
has to be made. Shout out
oh,
Trey Rags.
bro, there should at least be some fucking balance to it. That's what I think. There should be at least some balance to it.
I mean, I'm trying to sit here and think of an anime that does transformations to that point where they're able to make it make sense and look cool. Because like there just has to be a sacrifice. Like you can't have it look cool and have it make sense. Let me see.
Mm, let's
Uh.
see.
I
What
mean,
what about what what about Sage Mode? No.
but that there's never a moment where like, why didn't he use Sage Mode? Where he didn't use Sage Mode. You know, like Naruto always
Okay.
uses that shit. That's pretty much his new base form.
Okay. Uh. Yeah. This shit's
Same for
tough.
like Sasuke. Like he'll always jump to straight to his Sharingan. Like shit.
Um.
What other animes with great transformations? My Hero. I mean, full cowling isn't really a transformation, and Deku uses it when he can. So
Let's see.
no, not Bleach. I mean, One Piece. No, One Piece is not in that level. Luffy is using Gear 5 whenever he can. He's actually a lot of people are having complaints about that. Like now he just spams Gear 5 instead of using it for special occasions. But I'm like, why the fuck would he do that? Why would he not just jump to his strongest form?
I mean,
Like,
that's
look,
tough.
man, I think the days of us seeing Snake Man or that disgusting Gear 4 are over. Thank God.
Damn, bro.
Look, I
Nah,
hated
man
Gear
was
4.
yo, Gear 4 was one of my favorites. It makes sense just because narratively, this is where the story has to go now. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Did did this is where the story, but I won't negate it. It does throw uh something amiss just because his whole the whole thing of how it went, it's just weird. It is just weird, and I guess that's the problem when you look at uh power scaling and stuff like that. But it at the end of the day, it just gets weird because you're like, wait, Gear 5 should have drawbacks, but then at the same time, sometimes it shows that it doesn't really have drawbacks, right? Like you look
I don't
at
think it
Gear
should
5,
have drawbacks.
it shouldn't.
If
But
it's supposed to be Luffy's peak, then hey, let him have it, bro. Like, I get it. For it to be fair, you gotta have some sort of weakness. So it's not like, why
but
did he
even
just
then,
spam it? But you
but
know how you solve that? Have him spam it.
but even then, now it doesn't matter because w- I think it's fair to say when we were in the Wano arc, right?
Hmm.
We thought the strongest or the peak individual, the niggas top of the verse, were the Yonko. You know, your Kaido, your Big Mom, and that.
Yeah.
After we left Wano, that is false. I'm dead ass. After we left Wano, I'm fully convinced. Even if these niggas teamed up, they couldn't even overthrow the government, bro.
The
Dead
Yonkos?
ass. Yeah.
You
you
see,
you see you read Egghead, bro. Tell me.
yeah, I know. And let me actually, this is why last night or the other night when you were texting me about this, I had a thought to myself. And I'm like, I don't want to throw this, I don't want to throw this point out, but now I'm going to. You said that the tension in Egghead was good. No, it wasn't, my guy. We see Luffy staring down the Gorosei, all five of them, and we're not worried about Luffy. We're like, he'll be all right. Why is that? If the Gorosei are all that strong, we should really think Gulu Luffy's fucked here, but he's not. But he's not though, right?
Mhm.
Right? And people say, imagine. I saw an image that went crazy. Imagine if we replaced each of the Gorosei with a Kaido. Suddenly, the feeling's different, right? Suddenly, you're like, oh yeah, he's fucked. There's nothing he can do about that. Fine, he barely beat one Kaido, and I mean barely to beat one. Five is a hell no. And yet the five Gorosei are just like, look, they're strong. Like we know on paper they're stronger than Kaido, but they just don't have that threatening presence.
Fair enough. I would say it honestly is just hard, man. I
But that's
it,
also just the way the story goes, right? Because like they always got to one up them. Sorry for interrupting you, but they always got to one up themselves to make the story feel like it's progressing. And you're right. If
Mhm.
now that we look at it, if the Yonko all teamed up, the girls say are whooping their ass, right?
Yeah.
Or even like this is why I'm pushing that idea that Mihawk is a fraud. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm the strongest swordsman of all time. What about the figurelins? Hmm?
Mm,
We see them. A lot of them are using swords, right?
mm,
You're telling me that Mihawk went up to the Holy Land and fought all the swordsmen there too, and he's able to be like, yeah, I'm stronger than these niggas.
mhm.
Ah, bro,
You, what
that
about
man
the
Mihawk. Hmm?
what about the all the I forgot his name. Uh because the he wasn't a main point in the Egghead Island. The only Gorosei member that was a main point in Egghead, Saturn.
Hmm.
So like even I will say even as just casually reading Egghead, the Gorosei member that really left a big impact was Saturn. So
Oh yeah.
but there's the nigga that has the sword and he's the fucking horse. I forgot. He's not Saint Jupiter. He's not I forgot who what his fucking name is. But it's the nigga with the glasses and the sword.
Hmm.
You telling me Mihawk fought him too?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what the story wants us to believe, bro. They want us to believe that Mihawk is stronger than them. Sorry, bro. This point, it's looking like he just paints his sword. that
it honestly it is funny. I think it is funny. Uh but I guess just with the it deserves the criticism, but just with how One Piece is a little bit more narratively driven, it gets a little leniency. But I do agree it does deserve that
uh,
criticism at least. I will
you,
agree on that.
what's this nigga's name? Ethan Baron v. Nusjuro? Is that the one you're talking about with the glasses and the sword?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh, we'll see. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I don't like narratively speaking, there's a lot in One Piece that has to be hit up or shit won't make sense. No. If the reason they said Mihawk's supposed to be the strongest swordsman is for him to have to be
Zoro's
yeah, Zoro's final goal, but like I don't really see a reason for Zoro and Mihawk to fight other than a spar. Like they don't have real beef with each other.
right.
So we'll see.
Mm. But
Anyways,
I mean I think you're right. If a transformation has to sacrifice one or the other, like in order for it to be good, I guess it is what it is. But it could be frustrating sometimes, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, that kind of could break the immersion of the story. So the authors really have to make sure they're not doing something stupid. Like, oh, there's some stories where like, what the hell?
And
Like,
and yeah, and I think the biggest thing is that what
like,
makes
oh, sorry.
Mhm.
Like, like if you want to talk about a story where that don't make sense because the way the transformations work, it's not a transformation, but like you know what I mean. Oh my gosh, Eminence in Shadow, right? Like
Okay.
this nigga is the definition of playing with his food, bro. He
Mhm.
never goes all out, and that's just like, dog. Why not? At some point, why don't you just go crazy, bruh? Or even
Mhm.
uh
Oh, you know what?
what?
That brings a very good question. Based on eminence of shadow, we could just do a bunch of speculation. It has nothing in terms of power scaling or anything. Let's just all speculation. You remember the moment in season 1, Eminence of
Oh, I
Shadow,
haven't watched
where
season 2 yet, by the way. So
no, just season 1. You remember that
okay,
moment where Shadow was fighting those two girls
yeah,
and then
with a lead pipe
yep, and then uh one of the girls was like
or with a crowbar.
crowbar.
Okay,
That's his signature weapon.
okay.
That's his that ass. That's his signature weapon, bro. But he was fighting one of the girls, and then she was like, "Oh, why are you running?" And he took that personally, and then he just went up and just encased a good portion of the city in
Nigga
straight
activated his domain expansion.
exactly in just straight mana, bro. My question is, we split up into different categories, right? We know
Mhm.
the Dragon Ball, Dragon Z, and GT. What level do you think each of the, if they were flexing, and I mean straight flexing, like just straight flexing, what do you think their bar is? Like just
Honestly,
straight flexing. You could pick any form and just straight flexing. Like, since you like Ultra Instinct, what is a straight flex for
shaking
Ultraman.
the no realm.
Shaky, where he screamed, or just his
Oh,
presence.
remember when you mastered it, and then you saw, okay, so he's fighting Jiren, and you see Goku get the energy, and then boom, you saw him light up the entirety of the no realm, right? Right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Just off transforming alone, and then when he's screaming, he's able to shake the no realm, which shaking a realm of nothingness. How? How? That's why,
Okay.
like, if these niggas went all out and just like literally just powered up on Earth, they probably would destroy the planet just from powering up. Like you saw in Z when Super Saiyan 3, his first time doing it, nigga was shaking the whole world. Nigga was destroying buildings, destroying infrastructure just from trying to go 3. That's why I feel like if these niggas don't control themselves, the Earth is gone.
Well, that is true.
I mean, think about it.
We even saw it in Broly too.
Yeah, yeah. That man Piccolo felt that shit. And I'm like, what the hell? Yo, like think about this. The material of this terminal power stage is supposed to be the most indestructible material or the hardest material in the universe. And these niggas are just casually just blowing that shit up. You saw that ring by the end of the fucking shit? That shit was nothing, bro. It was literally obliterated into dust. They're standing on pieces of rock. It's supposed to be the hardest material in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Damn.
if you remember, it's supposed to be the same material as when Gohan used the Z sword and Goku threw that cube of material at the Z sword and it just shattered the Z sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think the biggest flex was for Blue, at least in Blue, was Gogeta. I think Gogeta is the only character who flexed Blue and showed what Blue could really be.
Yeah. I agree. That man, and I love how they handled that too. I still don't like that they had to fuse to beat Broly, but at the very least, they never showed Broly overpowering Gogeta. Like Gogeta always had the upper hand. I feel like he could have beaten him just as Super Saiyan, and he just went blue because he could. Rule of cool. You gotta look cool while doing it.
Gotta look cool doing it.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, bro. Like, because if you're really telling me that he had to go blue to beat full power Broly, bro, I don't see how Goku and Vegeta could ever catch up. Like, there's no way in my head. It's like how Kale and Khalifa had to fuse to beat Goku, and they stay lost.
Exactly. And then what else? The funny thing is, even with how powerful these transformations are in Dragon Ball,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really have a lot of anime flex moments. You know what I'm talking about in Dragon Ball?
No, you don't.
There's not really, even Rose didn't really have
Ooh.
flex.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I mean, what,
whoa.
splitting the dimension, or uh
Yes, calling it clothes. Fucking his whole transformation. Like, hey man, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a page out of your book. I'm gonna call this shit Rose. Hey, that was clean. When he fucking stabbed Vegeta through the chest with his key sword, that was clean. Or when he fucking hit Goku with those needles and blew that nigga up. Ooh,
I mean, yes, those are clean moments, but I'm talking about straight flexing moments that strike fear. Not necessarily in the viewer's heart, but in the opponent's heart.
hey, hey,
Like like you
I think
realize
the
like you
scythe thing,
realize like all Goku's villains, especially in Z, can you name me one person who felt fear when they saw that Super Saiyan transformation? I don't think
Frieza.
fear.
Nigga, shit bricks as soon as he saw Super Saiyan. He was like,
I
"There's
don't know.
no way."
Is
Cause look,
that
look,
fear?
nigga,
Is that
what are you talking about? He killed all the Saiyans because of he feared Super Saiyan, bro. He literally heard the legend. He's like, nah. Nah, I cannot let that nigga ever emerge. There's no way I'm gonna let a Super Saiyan destroy my shit. So he killed all the Saiyans, and then when he saw Goku go the first time, he was like, "There's no way. I literally killed all you to stop this. How?" And then he got fucked up.
And the funny thing is, if he had hindsight, honestly, he there was nothing to be afraid of, huh?
No, 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 no. See, look, if you look at Frieza as a character, there really
If
was
he
nothing to be afraid of. If he took a week to train,
there was literally
if
nothing.
he, if he took just a week to train, he would have washed Super Saiyan Goku. But he didn't. That just shows how arrogant he is.
With
I look, hate that too. I hate that he only trained for 4 months and he caught up to Super Goku and Vegeta. Like, get the fuck out of here.
oh my god, bro. Okay,
But hey,
but at the moment, you say that was fear. That
yeah,
at the
and
moment, that was fear. Okay,
Cell too. When
do
Gohan
you
punched him in the gut, that nigga
was
was like,
it was it fear or is it
"Oh,
just shock?
I think it was more shock." He's like, "Oh, the fuck! I thought I was that nigga."
Like, cause that nigga, he's like, his whole thing was perfection, and then he felt something. He was like, nah,
Nah.
no, no, there's no way.
And Boo, I mean, Boo doesn't really count. That nigga don't feel any emotion other than demon time. That nigga, Kid Boo only felt demon time, bro. That's all. Um, that's really it. Yeah, no other villain really fears Goku, Vegeta. They shouldn't, but
Uh, I they should, don't you think?
no, it's not that kind of story. Goku and Vegeta
Uh,
aren't known as menacing terrorists throughout the universe. They just fight niggas.
Yeah, but even so, bro, if you're a confident fighter and you get flexed on, like okay, what about Broly?
No,
Broly legit had fear
Broly
again.
was out of his mind. All right, it wasn't fear of
That,
the
that
person he's fighting. It was fear of dying.
no. Okay, but isn't that still flexing though? When you're in a fight, there is that possible reality that an attack can fucking decimate you.
Yeah,
That
and he
nigga
only
went that nigga went berserk, and the presence of that Kamehameha snapped him back. He
yeah,
saw that shit and he got he couldn't
yeah,
stay.
yeah. But is that really the same thing though? Because that was from Gogeta, and like,
Yeah, fair. That was from Gogeta. I feel like only fucking fusions are able to bring out straight fear. Although I
Vegito
will
ain't bringing no
say,
fear into no one's heart, bruh.
w-
Vegito ain't strike. Hey, sounds like I'm hating on Vegito fans, but no, Vegito ain't strike no fear in nobody's heart, bruh. He ain't moved not one person. He punched the monster. The monster was annoyed, but the monster was like, damn, bro, I'm gonna lose. No, he never. Bruh.
we need to see we need to see the moment, bro, where a Saiyan just goes into a transformation and there's just fear.
Well, I
Because
mean,
like
if you want to
number
be
one,
technical, they were scared of Vegeta when he went Great Ape in the Saiyan saga.
that is true. I mean, they are a warrior race, so I do feel like when they were out conquering worlds, when they went Great Ape, you know,
Hmm.
brought some fear. But we're talking about straight Super Saiyan, bro. Like there needs to feel you need to feel some fear, bro.
They're not really. They don't walk people down, bruh. I mean, actually, that's not true. Cell did feel fear when he did the Kamehameha, but that was because that was more fear of death than anything.
Yeah,
You know, when he got distracted by Vegeta and he looked at Gohan with that fear in his eyes, like, oh, he's gonna kill me. Oh.
that I think that would be something interesting to see in Dragon Ball. What do
Hmm.
you think? Someone just has a form, and then once they show it, the opponent just like, oh. Wait. Please. I ain't mean it. I ain't mean it. Nah, bro, you're taking this ass whooping now.
Nah. Nah, I think because the way the villains work in Dragon Ball, usually they're all remorseless beings. They do not give two fucks. they they have no remorse in their heart. So I don't. I mean, Goku tries to, he tries to instill that. Like, yo, do you feel bad about what you did? I was able to say, hell no, I don't feel bad. I'll do that shit again. All right, you caught me lacking this time. It won't happen again though. Bet.
But then, but don't you think you could write? Okay, take this. Take this. What do you think? Even if they're remorseful beings, w- I think it could still be written. What do you think of UG versus Mahito? I mean, Mahito is a remorseful being. That nigga will gladly kill humans again. But
Remorseless. You mean?
is it remorseless?
Yes. Remorseful means they're full of remorse.
Oh,
Remorseless
okay.
means
There you go, right? I mean, he'll gladly kill humans multiple times over and over again, but at that point, that nigga got scared, bro. Like,
again of death. That nigga didn't want to die. He knew that because of everything he did, Yuji's not gonna have any doubts about killing him. And then Yuji got hold by, Kenjaku taking the nigga's soul, but whatever.
yeah, okay. So I guess at the end of the day, it's the death that make the niggas rethink. It's like, oh, I didn't think I was gonna die.
For real. They
do you
think they
do,
top dog and then they run into the real top dog.
do you think when Boo was pushing back that spear bomb, he was like, "Yo, this is light work."
That nigga was laughing, wasn't he? Let me see. I'm gonna look that clip. I'm pretty sure he was laughing, or no, he was like Loki struggling. He's like, but I can do this though. I can do this though. And then when Goku was Super Saiyan to push that shit back, it wasn't funny no more. That shit, I'll tell you one thing, that nigga stopped laughing.
And
Shit,
nigga took it
Goku.
seriously. He was like, oh no, that's not good."
Yep, I'm looking at it. Ain't shit was funny no more, boo.
Okay, so yeah, it's just more when they're
But he doesn't look scared. He just looks like frustrated, like, who's that guy?
it's more so when they reach that point of death, like the realization when they're gonna die. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right.
So
I think that's a good spot to end it there.
any uh closing remarks in terms of the
Transformations.
yeah, at least for the whole Saiyan race and using Goku as the model.
Honestly, Goku's progression for the story made sense, and that's another reason why I really did like Ultra Instinct. It felt like a natural conclusion to Goku's story because even as a kid, he's always been this martial artist. Martial arts are something that's heavily influenced his life, and fighting without thinking, I feel like that's the peak of a true martial artist. In the manga, they did kind of show that a little bit with Master Roshi being able to do something against Jiren, but yeah, yeah,
Uh, I mean, I do agree. I would say for some part, I still enjoy the Saiyan aspect transformation. I do think Ultra Instinct is a very good transformation, but personally, I would have enjoyed seeing more of the Saiyan transformation and seeing the limits that they can go to. But either or, I think all of them are just pretty good. I just wish, man, make it make sense narratively sometimes.
mm-hmm.
But
I see.
yeah,
All right, then with that, countercast out.